She called security on a Thursday morning, right in the middle of the rush.
Excuse
And she
me,
did it
I
with
have
a
an important
smile,
meeting. Can I
like she
just
was
get one
ordering
coffee?
someone's life to be rearranged for her convenience.
This
This is a fictional
completely
story inspired by
unacceptable. You're
real public
supposed to know
moments,
how to
told
do
for
this.
entertainment.
Ma'am, let me see what I can
Asha
do.
Bennett was behind the small coffee kiosk inside Southbridge Station, sleeves rolled up, green apron tied tight, hands moving in a rhythm she could do half asleep. The kind of rhythm you earn when you have no choice but to be good at your job, because the world feels like it is waiting for you to slip. It was 7:41 a.m., and the station was already loud. Shoes on tile, suitcase wheels, the beeping of barriers, announcements cutting through the air, and that constant chorus of commuters trying to outrun the clock. Asha kept her voice soft and steady anyway. Next, please. A man in a high-vis jacket stepped forward, paid, took his flat white with a quick nod, and disappeared into the crowd. A woman in a navy coat ordered 2 cappuccinos, glanced at her watch and mouthed, "Thank you," like it was a secret. Asha smiled back, even though her cheeks ached, because she was counting every order. Not for targets, not for bonuses, for a number that sat in her chest like a stone. 180 pounds. That was the cost of Malik's Year 6 residential trip. 2 nights away, activities, meals, coaches, the whole thing. The school had tried to be kind about it. They offered payment plans. They sent polite emails. But the deadline was Friday at 4 p.m., and Malik had been talking about it for months like it was the biggest adventure of his life. "Mom, they've got a zip line." "Mom, they said we might do canoeing." "Mom, Mr. Carter said it builds confidence." Asha would smile and say, "You'll go, don't worry." And then she would go into the kitchen when Malik couldn't see her, open her banking app, and stare at the numbers like staring would make them grow. That morning, she was 8 pounds short. 8 pounds. It should have been nothing. But 8 pounds might as well have been 800 when the rent was due, the gas meter was blinking, and the fridge had that empty sound. She was doing an extra shift, a double, and her manager had promised she could take the tip jar home at the end of the week because the kiosk didn't officially pool tips anymore. It was a small kindness, and Asha had clung to it. She looked up again. "Next, please." That was when Sharon Pike stepped out of the crowd like she owned the space. Blonde hair, expensive coat, phone already in her hand, nails perfect, lips pressed together in a way that told the world she was already disappointed. She didn't join the queue. She cut in from the side and leaned her elbows on the counter as if the people behind her were furniture. Asha blinked once, then she kept her face neutral. "Morning. There's a queue, miss." Sharon didn't even look back. "I'm in a hurry." "So is everyone," someone muttered behind her. Sharon turned her head just enough to send a look over her shoulder, the kind of look that makes people second-guess their own right to exist in public. Then she faced Asha again, smile thin. "Large latte, extra hot, oat milk, 2 pumps vanilla, and make it quick." Asha glanced at the line of customers, then at Sharon's phone, then back to Sharon. "I can take your order once you're in the queue." Sharon's eyebrows lifted like Asha had spoken in a foreign language. "Excuse me?" Asha kept her tone polite. "I can't serve you ahead of the others. If you join the queue, I'll get you sorted." Sharon laughed once, sharp and surprised. "You people love rules when it suits you." Asha felt something hot rise in her chest, but she didn't let it reach her face. "Miss, please join the queue." Sharon leaned closer, lowering her voice like she was offering advice. "Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. I've already had a morning, I've got meetings, I'm not standing behind all of them. Just do your job." Asha's hand stayed on the counter, open, visible, calm. "My job includes serving customers fairly." The queue behind Sharon began to shift, bodies tightening, heads turning. People loved drama when it wasn't theirs. Sharon's smile vanished. "Fairly," she repeated, like the word offended her. Then she raised her voice, just enough for the crowd to hear. "So you're refusing to serve me? I'm asking you to join the queue." Sharon's eyes flicked across Asha's face, her apron, her hair tied back, her name badge. "And what's your name?" "Asha." Sharon nodded slowly, as if she'd just been handed ammunition. Asha, she said, loud, I want your manager. Asha didn't flinch. My manager starts at 9, but I'm the only staff member here right now. If you'd like to leave your details, I can ask him to contact you. Sharon let out a breathy laugh. Oh no, I'm not leaving anything. You're going to call him, now. Asha's stomach tightened. She could feel the weight of eyes. She could feel the pressure building, that dangerous public pressure that turns simple conflict into a spectacle. Miss, Asha said, I can't leave the counter during peak time. If you join the queue, I can serve you. If you don't, I'll need you to step aside. Sharon's jaw clenched. You're making this difficult on purpose. I'm not. Sharon's voice rose again, sharper. Are you being aggressive with me? The word landed like a trap. Asha kept her tone even. No, I'm asking you to follow the queue. Sharon lifted her phone, angling it so the camera faced Asha. Say that again. Asha's eyes flicked to the phone. She knew this game. Clip the calm response. Post the part where the worker looks rude. Skip the part where the customer pushed first. Asha spoke clearly. Please join the queue, miss. Sharon smiled. There it is. She turned the phone to herself for a second, narrating like she was live. This is unbelievable. I'm being refused service. She's hostile. I feel unsafe. Asha felt her heart hammer, but her voice stayed steady. Miss, please don't make false claims. Sharon snapped her head up. False claims? Are you calling me a liar? Asha didn't answer that. She didn't take the bait. She pointed gently, palm open, toward the side. If you step aside, the queue can continue. Sharon didn't move. Instead, she did something that made the air change. She tapped her screen and spoke into her phone. Yes, hello. I need station security at the coffee kiosk, now. A staff member is being aggressive. I'm being threatened. The queue erupted in low noise, people murmuring, some outraged, some excited. A man in a suit lifted his own phone and started recording from the side. A teenage boy did the same, smirking like he'd won free entertainment. Asha's hand stayed visible on the counter. Her breathing slowed, on purpose. She had learned something in life. When someone wants you to become a villain, they're praying for your reaction. So Asha gave Sharon nothing. She took the next customer in the queue. Next, please. Sharon whipped around. Oh, no, you don't. Asha looked up. I'm serving the queue. Sharon stepped closer, leaning across the counter. You're not ignoring me. I pay your wages. Asha's voice stayed soft. This is a kiosk. You can either join the queue or step aside. Sharon's eyes widened as if Asha had slapped her. I'm going to have you fired. Asha nodded once. You're entitled to complain. Sharon turned to the queue, voice carrying. Did you all hear her? She's being rude. She's refusing service. A woman near the front spoke up. You cut in. Just queue like everyone else. Sharon's face twisted. Mind your business. The woman shrugged. It is my business when you're holding everyone up. Sharon's gaze snapped back to Asha, and she leaned in again, quieter now, venomous. You think you can talk to me like this because you've got a little crowd. You don't know who I am. Asha's stomach rolled, but she kept her posture calm. Miss, please step back from the counter. Sharon's eyes narrowed. Then, with a sudden movement, she reached for the card terminal. Asha's hand lifted instantly, not to grab, just to block. Please don't touch the equipment. Sharon yanked back as if she'd been burned. Don't touch me, Sharon shouted, loud enough for the station to hear. Asha froze, hands open, palms visible. I didn't touch you, Sharon pointed at her, phone still recording. She's trying to steal my card. She's trying to rob me. The queue gasped. Someone sucked their teeth. Someone muttered, Here we go. Asha felt the moment teeter on a knife edge. She could feel it, the point where the narrative forms in strangers' minds and sticks. So she anchored herself in the only thing that mattered, truth. She spoke calmly, clearly, for the phones. I have not touched you. I'm asking you not to touch our terminal. Security can review CCTV. That did it. The word CCTV made Sharon's eyes flicker. Just for a second, Asha saw it, a tiny flash of uncertainty. Sharon recovered fast. CCTV won't help you, Sharon snapped. I know how this works. People like you always think you can hide behind cameras. Asha's expression didn't change, but inside, she felt it. People like you. The Q heard it too. A ripple of discomfort moved through them. Asha swallowed, then lifted her chin. Security is on the way. Sharon smiled again, pleased with herself, like she'd just pressed a button and the world would obey. Good. Asha took the next order, hands slightly trembling as she pressed buttons on the till. She hated that her body reacted even when her mind refused. Asha glanced at the tip jar. Coins, a couple of notes folded. £8 was sitting right there if she took it now, but she never took it during a shift. Never. She didn't want anyone to ever say she stole. Not even once, not even by accident. Then the station's low rumble shifted. 2 security staff appeared through the crowd. Black uniforms, radios, body cameras mounted at chest level. The lead, a broad man with tired eyes, moved like he'd already decided how the story ended. His name badge said Holt. Right, he said, voice clipped. What's going on? Sharon stepped forward immediately, face switching to victim. Thank God. She's been aggressive. She tried to take my card. She refused me service and then threatened me. Holt looked at Asha like she was a problem to be solved. Asha, Sharon added quickly, as if presenting evidence. That's her name. Asha kept her voice steady. Good morning. I'm the only staff member here. She cut the queue and I asked her to join it. She began filming and then called you. She also reached for the terminal. CCTV will show everything. Holt's eyes narrowed. You step away from the till. Asha's stomach dropped. She kept her hands visible. Of course, I will. But I'd like to request that my manager is present and that you preserve CCTV from the last 15 minutes. Also, please confirm your body cameras are recording. Holt blinked, surprised by her clarity. They're recording. Thank you. Asha took one step back from the counter, slow, deliberate, showing she wasn't a threat. Sharon smiled, triumphant. There, see? She's been difficult the whole time. Holt spoke to Asha. Stay back there. Asha nodded. Understood. Sharon leaned toward Holt, lowering her voice, but still loud enough for nearby phones to pick up. She's probably taken money from the till already. You should search her. Asha's eyes flicked to Sharon, and for the first time, a flash of cold anger tightened her jaw. Holt looked at Asha again, weighing. Then he looked at the kiosk. Do you have any proof of theft? Holt asked Sharon. Sharon lifted her chin. My card. I felt her try to take it. Asha spoke calmly. I never touched her. The terminal is bolted, and the contactless machine stays here. If she has a concern, review CCTV. A man filming from the queue spoke up. Mate, she was the one grabbing the machine. Holt turned, irritated. Step back. The man raised his hands but kept filming. Holt faced Sharon again. Ma'am, you need to calm down. Sharon's eyes widened. Calm down? Are you kidding? She's the one who needs to calm down. Look at her. Asha stood still, shoulders relaxed, eyes steady. Sharon jabbed a finger toward Asha's face. Call your manager now! The shout echoed off the station walls and pulled even more attention. People not even in the queue turned their heads. Asha felt humiliation burn behind her eyes, not because she'd done anything wrong, but because someone was trying to turn her into a criminal in public. Holt's colleague, a slimmer guard with a softer face, murmured something to Holt. Holt nodded once. All right, Holt said. We'll call your manager. Asha spoke, careful, respectful. My manager's name is Raj Singh. He'll be here soon. There is also a supervisor in the station office. CCTV is station property. Holt frowned. He hated being told how to do his job, but he also knew she was right. Fine, Holt said. Stay here. Sharon scoffed. Unbelievable. Asha's phone buzzed in her pocket. She didn't touch it. She couldn't. Not now. Behind Holt, Sharon turned slightly and whispered something into her own phone, still recording. Then she looked up and smiled at the crowd. That smile was what made Asha's skin crawl. Because Sharon wasn't scared. She was enjoying it. Asha looked at the people filming, the strangers holding their phones like this was a show. Some faces were sympathetic, some were blank, some were hungry for chaos. If you're watching this, I want you to answer honestly. If you were in that queue, would you speak up or would you stay quiet? Comment speak up or stay out, because the truth is, moments like this reveal who we are. Holt stepped closer to the counter, blocking it with his body. No one's using this until we sort it out. Asha's heart skipped. That meant lost sales, angry customers, complaints. Raj would get heat for it. Sharon clapped her hands once, delighted. Good. Shut it down. Finally. Asha kept her tone polite. Sir, if the till is shut, the queue will build and people may miss trains. There's CCTV. Please review it first. Holt's eyes narrowed again. Don't tell me what to do. Asha nodded once. I'm not. I'm asking for fairness. Sharon laughed loudly. Fairness, that's rich. Then she leaned around Holt, pointing at Asha as if Asha was dirt under her shoe. You think you're clever. You think you can speak nicely and get away with it. But I know your type. I've seen it. You push people, you provoke them, then you play innocent. Asha didn't move. Holt's colleague shifted uncomfortably. Asha spoke quietly. Please don't speak to me like that. Sharon stepped forward, face tight, pointing harder. Or what? You'll cry? You'll call someone? You people always do. Holt finally lifted a hand between them. That's enough. Sharon snapped her head to him. Do not tell me that's enough. I'm the victim here. Holt's radio crackled. He listened, then spoke low into it. His eyes flicked toward the station office. Manager's on his way, he said. Sharon's smile returned. Good, because he's going to fire her. Asha's throat tightened at the word fire. Malik's school trip flashed in her mind. The 8 pounds, Friday at 4 p.m., the zip line, the way Malik had looked at her with pure trust. Asha forced herself to breathe. Holt's colleague glanced at her, and there was something in that look that felt almost apologetic. Then Raj Singh arrived. He moved fast, shoulders squared, eyes scanning the scene like he'd walked into a fire. He was in his 30s, hair neat, tie slightly loosened, the kind of manager who had learned to be calm because the workplace demanded it. He looked at Asha first, her posture, her face, her hands. Then he looked at Holt, then at Sharon, then at the crowd filming. Raj's voice was firm. What's happened? Sharon stepped forward instantly, tears almost appearing on command. Your staff member has been aggressive. She refused me service. She threatened me. She tried to take my card. I want her gone. Raj didn't even look at Sharon's tears. He kept his eyes on Asha. Asha, he said calm. Tell me what happened in one sentence. Asha spoke clearly. She cut the queue. I asked her to join it. She started filming, reached for the terminal, then called security and claimed I threatened her. Raj nodded once. Then he turned to Holt. Body cam footage is running, yes? Holt grunted. Yes. Raj nodded again. Then we do this properly. Sharon scoffed. Oh, please, don't pretend you're going to defend her. I'm a paying customer. Raj looked at her for the first time, and there was nothing friendly in his eyes. You are a customer. That does not give you the right to abuse staff or lie. Sharon's face flickered, shocked. How dare you? Raj didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. I'm going to ask the station office to pull CCTV with audio from the kiosk. If you're telling the truth, it will support you. If you're not, you're going to regret this. Sharon's smile faltered. It's not that serious, she said quickly. I just want my coffee. Raj's gaze stayed steady. It became serious when you accused my staff member of threatening you. Sharon's voice rose. Call your manager now, she shouted again, as if the words were a spell. Raj looked at her like she was a child screaming in a supermarket. I am the manager. The crowd murmured. Phones held higher. Holt shifted, suddenly less certain. Raj spoke to Holt. I want the till reopened for the queue. Asha can step back while we review footage. She has done nothing to warrant restraint. Holt frowned. She's involved in an incident. Raj's voice stayed calm but sharpened. She's involved because someone dragged her into it. Show me one piece of evidence she's done anything wrong. Until then, you will not treat her like a suspect. Holt hesitated. Raj's certainty was a force. Holt's colleague nodded slightly as if relieved. Raj turned to Asha. Asha, are you okay? Asha swallowed. I'm okay. Raj nodded. Good. Stay right here. Don't say anything else. Let the evidence speak. Sharon laughed. Brittle. Evidence? This is ridiculous. Raj called the station office from his phone. He spoke quietly, then waited. While he waited, Sharon couldn't help herself. She stepped around Holt as if trying to get closer to Asha. Asha felt her body tense, but she stayed still. Sharon pointed directly at Asha, face twisted, eyes wild. She's smirking at me. Look at her. She thinks she's won. Asha's voice was soft. I'm not smirking. Sharon's rage flared. Yes, you are. You think you can play calm and make me look crazy. Holt moved, stepping between Sharon and Asha. Back up. Sharon snapped at him. Don't touch me. Holt didn't touch her. He just held his arm out as a barrier. Sharon leaned around it, still pointing, voice rising. You should be ashamed. You should be grateful you have a job. Asha's eyes held steady, but her mind flashed to Malik again. The school email. The deadline. Raj ended the call and looked at Holt. Station office is pulling the footage now. They'll send it to the supervisor's screen near the concourse. We'll watch it together. Sharon's confidence cracked just slightly. Why do we need all this? She said, trying to soften. It's a coffee kiosk. You're acting like it's court. Raj's answer was quiet and deadly. When you accuse someone of threats and theft, it becomes court. They walked as a group toward the supervisor screen. Asha followed, hands clasped in front of her, posture controlled. Holt walked slightly behind Sharon, watching her closely now. The crowd followed too, a loose wave of people with phones raised, smelling a conclusion. The supervisor screen was mounted on a wall near a station office window, visible but not too close. A man in a white shirt, the station supervisor, tapped keys and pulled up the feed. No sound yet. Sharon folded her arms, chin high, trying to look bored. Raj spoke softly to the supervisor. Please include audio. The supervisor nodded, clicked. The screen showed the kiosk, Asha behind the counter, the queue. Then Sharon stepping in from the side, cutting the line. A murmur ran through the crowd. Sharon's face twitched. The audio played. Asha's voice, clear, polite. There's a queue, miss. Sharon's voice, sharp. I'm in a hurry. The line, you people love rules when it suits you, played through the speaker, louder than Sharon expected. A few people in the crowd hissed under their breath. Sharon's cheeks reddened. The footage continued, Sharon demanding service, Asha refusing politely, Sharon lifting her phone. Then Sharon saying, I feel unsafe. Then Sharon shouting, don't touch me, even though Asha's hands were visible and open. The crowd reacted, the truth landing in real time. Sharon's mouth opened, ready to protest, but Raj lifted a hand. Let it play. The footage reached the moment Sharon grabbed for the terminal. The supervisor paused, zoomed slightly. Sharon's hand on the machine. Asha's hand lifting to block, not touching Sharon. Then Sharon yanking back and shouting as if attacked. Someone in the crowd said loud, she grabbed it. Sharon snapped around. Shut up. Raj didn't look away from the screen. Then the footage showed something worse. When Sharon thought no one was watching, she glanced down, picked up a card from near the counter edge, and slid it into her own bag. The movement was small, quick, the kind of movement you do when you think the world belongs to you. The supervisor paused again. He zoomed. Sharon's hand. Her bag. The card disappearing. The crowd went quiet, like someone had turned off the station's noise for a second. Raj didn't move. His face stayed still, but his eyes hardened. Holt's posture changed completely. Sharon's breath hitched. That's not, she started. That's not what it looks like. Raj finally turned to her. What is it then? Sharon's voice cracked with anger, not fear. She probably planted it. She probably dropped it on purpose. Asha's voice was quiet, steady. I didn't. Sharon whirled toward Asha, eyes blazing. You're lying. Holt stepped forward, and this time his tone was different. Ma'am, stop. Sharon's face contorted. Don't you dare take her side. Holt didn't flinch. This is not sides. This is video. Sharon tried one last switch. I felt threatened. I still feel threatened. She looked at me like she was going to attack me. Asha didn't look away. I looked at you because you were shouting. Raj spoke calmly. You made a false report. You accused my staff member of theft while taking property yourself. You also used language that was unacceptable. Sharon's eyes widened. You can't do this to me. Do you know who I am? Raj's voice stayed flat. No, and I don't care. Sharon's voice rose again, desperate. Call your manager now. Raj's lips twitched, not in humor, in disbelief. I'm going to call the police, he said. Sharon's confidence collapsed. No, don't be dramatic. This is a misunderstanding. Holt lifted his arm, blocking her as she tried to step away. Ma'am, you're going to stay here. Sharon jerked back. Get off me! Holt didn't grab her yet, but he positioned his body so she couldn't slip past. Sharon turned toward the crowd, trying to regain control of the narrative. You're all recording the wrong thing. This is harassment. This is bullying. But it wasn't working. The crowd had seen the footage. The phones were no longer on Asha. They were on Sharon. Sharon's eyes darted, searching for someone to rescue her. Then she saw Asha, and her anger snapped back into place like a shield. She pointed straight at Asha, face twisted, spitting the words like poison. This is your fault. Asha's voice stayed soft. No, it isn't. Sharon lunged one step forward, like she was trying to get around Holt to reach Asha. That was when Holt moved properly. He stepped in front of her and grabbed her forearm firmly, holding her back. Sharon's mouth opened wide, rage boiling over. Let go of me. Holt's grip tightened, controlled. Stop resisting, Sharon screamed, turning her head to glare at Asha, eyes furious, like she wanted Asha to feel her hatred. Asha's chest rose and fell slowly. She didn't smile. She didn't gloat. She just watched, calm, because she knew the truth had finally done what it always does. It caught up. Raj turned to Asha then, voice low, meant only for her. You did everything right. Asha swallowed and her eyes stung, but she kept her face composed. Thank you. Raj looked at Holt. I want her removed from this station and barred from the kiosk. I also want the false report logged. Holt nodded once, a different man now. Understood. Sharon's voice climbed into a frantic pitch. You can't ban me. I'm a customer. I have rights. Raj's response was cold. You have responsibilities too. Holt guided Sharon away, still holding her back when she tried to twist toward Asha. Sharon kept craning her neck, eyes locked on Asha, rage burning, as if Asha was the one being escorted out. 2 police officers arrived minutes later, called by the station supervisor. They spoke to Holt, watched the footage, then approached Sharon. Sharon's voice turned syrupy again. Officers, thank God. I've been treated terribly. I was threatened. One officer, a woman with a neutral face, looked at Sharon. We've seen the footage. Sharon froze. The officer continued. You made a false report, and you took a card that wasn't yours. That is not a misunderstanding. Sharon's mouth opened, then closed. The officer nodded toward Sharon's bag. Do you want to hand it over, or do we need to search it? Sharon's hands shook as she pulled out the card and held it like it was burning her. Asha watched from a short distance, heart still hammering, but for the first time, the hammering felt like release. One officer spoke to Raj. Do you want to press charges? Raj looked at Asha before answering. Asha met his gaze. She didn't want revenge. She wanted safety. She wanted the lesson to be real. Raj turned back to the officer. "Yes," he said, "for the false report at minimum, and for the attempted theft." Sharon let out a sound between a sob and a scream. "You can't." Holt walked Sharon toward the exit with the officers. Sharon kept looking back, face furious, eyes still searching for someone to blame. Asha didn't look away, not to intimidate her, to reclaim herself. When Sharon finally disappeared through the station doors, the crowd began to scatter, disappointed the show had ended. A few people lingered, phone still up, hoping for one last twist. Raj turned to them and raised his voice, calm but firm. "Please stop filming my staff. This is not entertainment." Some people lowered their phones, embarrassed. Others kept them up for a second longer, then stopped when Holt looked their way. The station supervisor cleared his throat, uncomfortable. "Sorry about that," he said to Asha. "Some people are, well..." Asha nodded politely. "It's okay." But it wasn't okay. Raj knew it too. He walked Asha back toward the kiosk. The queue had dispersed, but a few customers were still waiting, watching her like she was fragile. Asha stepped behind the counter again. Her hands found the rhythm automatically, but her body still trembled slightly, the aftershock of being nearly accused into ruin. Raj leaned in, voice low. "I'm sorry you had to stand in that." Asha's throat tightened. "It happens." Raj's eyes sharpened. "It shouldn't." He reached into his wallet and pulled out a note, folding it once. He slid it into the tip jar, then looked at her. "That's for Malik's trip. Don't argue." Asha blinked hard. "You don't have to do that." Raj didn't smile. "I do." Asha swallowed. "Thank you." Raj nodded once, then stepped away to handle paperwork with Holt and the station supervisor. Asha served the next customer. A woman in a navy coat paid for her coffee, then leaned closer. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I should have said more when she started." Asha gave her a small smile. "You did enough by not joining in." The woman nodded, eyes wet, and walked away quickly. A man in a suit, the one who had been filming earlier, approached, phone down now. "I caught most of it," he said, awkward. "If you want the video, in case, for your protection." Asha hesitated. Then she nodded once. "Thank you." He offered to airdrop it, but Asha didn't want to give her number. She asked him to send it to the kiosk email instead. He agreed, suddenly respectful. By noon, the station had moved on. It always did. But Asha hadn't. She could still hear Sharon's voice in her head. "You people." She could still feel that moment when Holt told her to step away from the till like she was dangerous. She could still feel the crowd's eyes. When Raj returned near the end of the shift, he looked tired. He stepped behind the counter for a moment and lowered his voice. "I've logged it properly. Station security have flagged her details. She's banned from the kiosk and the station supervisor is issuing a trespass notice." Asha nodded. "Okay," Raj studied her. "You're handling this too well." Asha gave a small, humorless breath. When you've got a child at home and deadlines to hit, you don't get the luxury of falling apart in public. Raj's eyes softened. "How much was the trip?" Asha hesitated, then told the truth. 180. By Friday. Raj's jaw tightened. "You were doing a double for that." Asha nodded. 8 pounds short this morning. Raj looked at the tip jar. "You're not 8 pounds short anymore." Asha blinked. "I don't want charity." Raj's voice was firm. "It's not charity. It's restitution for what you were put through. And it's me investing in the kind of staff member most places don't deserve." Asha looked down, then back up. "Thank you." Raj nodded once. "Also," he said, "I'm putting you forward for shift lead training, not because of what happened today, because of how you handled it." Asha's breath caught. "Really?" "Really," Raj said. "You kept your hands visible. You stayed calm. You demanded CCTV. You asked if body cams were recording. You protected yourself without being disrespectful. That's professionalism." Asha looked away for a second, blinking hard. Okay, she whispered. Okay. Raj stepped back from the counter. One more thing, he said quietly. This isn't the first incident like this. Asha's stomach tightened again. Raj continued. There's a pattern. People weaponizing complaints. People making claims because they know staff are scared to push back. I'm opening an internal report and station security are doing the same. Asha looked at him. How many? Raj's eyes narrowed. 3 this month. Different faces. Same playbook. Asha felt a chill. Raj lowered his voice even more. The supervisor mentioned something else. In one previous incident, a body cam segment was missing. Only a few minutes. They're investigating. But I want you to know, if anything ever feels off, you come straight to me. Not later. Immediately. Asha nodded slowly. Okay. That night, Asha walked home with the money from Malik's trip in her pocket, like it could evaporate if she didn't hold it tight. Malik met her at the door. Mom, he said breathless, did you pay it? Asha knelt and hugged him. Yes, she whispered. You're going. Malik squeezed her like she was the safest place on earth. Thank you. Asha held him for a moment longer than usual. Because the truth was, she hadn't been thanking him. She'd been apologizing to herself for how close she came to losing everything over a lie. The next day at 3:42 p.m., Asha stood at the school office and handed over the money. The secretary smiled warmly and stamped a form. All sorted, she said. He'll have a brilliant time. Asha exhaled, and for the first time in weeks, the stone in her chest felt lighter. On Friday morning, Asha returned to the station kiosk. Same noise, same rush, same smell of coffee. But something had changed. Not the world. Her. She stood a little straighter. She spoke a little clearer. She didn't shrink when people got loud, because now she had proof of something she needed to believe. Calm is not weakness. Calm is control, and evidence will always beat noise eventually. If you take anything from this story, let it be this. People who weaponize authority depend on your panic. They depend on your fear. They want you to argue so they can point and say, see, that's what they're like. So when you can, stay steady. Keep your hands visible. Ask for cameras. Ask for records. Ask for names. Ask for fairness in a voice so calm it forces the room to listen. And one last question for you. When someone lies to get you in trouble, should they face real consequences, or do we let it slide because it's easier? Tell me what you think. What?